Okay, so I never do this. I'm gonna use YouTube just so it's long and I can put it on different services. So yeah, I'm making this posting on the gym. Excuse me, but this is tied into essentially the announcement that I was going to do a bodybuilding show next year. I still am. Just a little update because people really don't pay attention to the personal TikTok account. Yada, yada, yada. Regardless, my coach had me dieting because everyone's asking me, hey, you're looking pretty lean. So we kept pushing, I kept pushing, but he had me doing it just to see where I would be now. I found out I have to, I can take insulin, type 1 diabetic. Now I take insulin, changes the way my body reacts to everything. Long story short, yeah, I'm reacting pretty well. Dying's a lot easier. I think putting muscle on is gonna be a lot easier. I recomped a ton in a couple months. Just looking back at March, it's like a totally different look. Like, I'm probably like 5-6 weeks out right now. So I'm not gonna do one right now, obviously. So that all said, he just had me diet down. I'm 229 right now. So I just kept pushing and pushing. Stalled out a couple times. Finally made some more progress. 229. Eating like 1,900 calories a day. So we're done. Now it's time to get big and strong and put as much muscle on as I can. Get nice and full, get a little puffy, not get fat. The fact I can wear 34-inch waist pants again, pretty impressive. So I'm pretty happy. But I'll get some 36s for the winter, so there's a little room in there, but I'll never be wearing a 38 or a 40 again. That'll just never happen. Even if my legs are removed, I'll find out a way to work out. So, with that said, now it's reverse time. What I will say is, having type 1 diabetes makes it, like I told Nate today, my coach, it makes sticking on diet so much easier because this is my wife's birthday last night. So I went out and I said, okay, I'm going to have some Royale cheese. Shout out to Haas Royale cheese, Dearborn Heights and Detroit location, both awesome, great food. But with that said, I had some brisket fries, amazing, and we had a bunch of Italian lunch meat. $27 a pound prosciutto. Like, we went all out. Got a bunch of like fatty, good tasting meat. And then my mom made giant cakes and all this. So I cut a piece of cake, little prosciutto, some Genoa salami and some other cheese. And then I had like that biscuit fries. Blood sugar went up to like, it was maintained decent. Then eventually middle of the night skyrocketed to 400 and up. My meter wouldn't even read it. And that's with me taking insulin. You can't really maintain it. You just can't eat like a normal shitty American or normal, couch potato when you have type 1 diabetes. Even with insulin, your body just doesn't respond. I have to walk. I have to work out to keep your body sensitive. So, long story short, ate that stuff last night, 4 o'clock in the morning. Used the restroom. Finally, all the insulin hits you. Then my blood sugar dropped dramatically. And it went from 400 to like 150 in like 2 minutes. So that means you're gonna go hypo and you're gonna go unconscious, maybe die. So I started eating glucose tablets, drinking apple juice. Wasn't happening. My wife's passed out upstairs. My buddies passed out in the basement. I'm on the main floor, like, gonna get there. Better go to the hospital. So I jumped in the car, drinking orange juice on the way there, apple juice. And luckily I was able to counter it in time, but they still want to check me in because in case it dropped, and it didn't. And then it just skyrocketed back up, and then it's okay now. But it's one of those things where like you just can't really time it. So like I told him, When you have a bodybuilding diet, you eat the same things. You know, okay, you figure out what works. You're like, okay, this many units of insulin does my meal B. This many units of insulin does meal C, because you're eating the same thing, you're weighing it. You can eat, okay, 4 rice cakes, 200 grams of, you know, whatever, like 93.7, you know, sirloin or whatever. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Green beans, like you just, okay, eat this, take this, blood sugar stays about 120, blah, blah, blah. Perfect. So it just keeps you in check. So even one time, I can't really slip up. It's not worth it. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to get as big as possible while not getting fat and gross and floppy. And it's about keeping the insulin in check. So if any of you have type 1 diabetes, bodybuilding is kind of perfect because it's all about weighing your food. It's almost easy because you can manipulate insulin easily. You know, like you need a little more, shuttle it in the muscles. You can do that because it's literally up to you and how much you take. Just be smart, don't abuse it, and don't really splurge on garbage. Never really pays off. It's not going to help your look either in the long run. So I think bodybuilding is really going to help keep me alive with this whole type 1 shit I've been walking around with for 25 years not knowing. Regardless, that's it. Update. Time to have a nice big off season. And then I'll let everyone know when I actually figure out my show. This was a long ass video. But if you made it to the end, your prize is nothing.